Paul Farbrace, that's a difficult day at the office, I guess.
Not really. We didn't get enough runs. We bowled poorly with the new ball, which we've been consistent with, and we gave them a great start to their run chase. So, there's only so many times that we can keep talking about we've got to learn, we've got to get better. We had a long meeting after the game at Northampton. We said that we played poorly at Northampton. We've got a lot of areas to learn. The question that came back was, well, what do we need to do? How do we need to learn? Which was, fair question. But there comes a point where you can only do so much talking. You can only keep having team meetings and conversations about areas you need to improve and get better. And today, we deserve to lose the game. They by far the best team. They played the best cricket. And their batters, when they got in, stayed in. It didn't help that our fielding was absolutely atrocious. I mean, that's the worst fielding performance I've seen in my time at Sussex. The drop catches were woeful. And you can't expect to win games if you give good players lives. And that's what we did today. So, no excuses. Very poor from start to finish. We didn't play well enough. We got stuck in the middle and said it was tough against their spin in the middle. Well, it didn't look that tough against our spinners, and they cantered to a very comfortable victory. So, look, all in all, it's a really disappointing defeat. There are times I don't mind, chatting to you and saying, but they tried and they did this and they did that, and we really put in. But that's just a soft defeat today. Having had such a great conversation on Sunday night after our defeat at Northampton about areas we were going to work on, and we batted better today in that we got 300, but we didn't bat well enough. And there's only, as I say, there's only so many times you can find a way to put something on it to make people feel better, and sometimes you've just got to be honest and say we've been beaten by a much better team who played much better cricket than we did today, and it's just a poor day from us.
It's a difficult question to ask you, Paul, but I'm going to ask it anyway. And you said there's only so many times you could do it. Do you reach a stage where you think, well, actually, are some of the players good enough to play at this level?
100% I do, yeah, 100%. And there's you can't. When your job as a coach is to look after your team and help your team get better and protect your team, and you have to have strong words every so often with players and make sure they're working hard enough, make sure they're practicing well enough, all those sorts of things. But there are some days where you just have to say, that's just not good enough. We all suffer. I don't go away from me and saying, "Oh, that's players." I take it's on me as well. I take huge responsibility, and I'm hugely disappointed. So my view is: are we preparing them properly? Are we giving the right information? Are we doing everything we can as a coaching team to make sure that we're giving our players the best chance to succeed? And the answer to that is we're probably not. So we probably need to work harder. We probably need to think more. And part of that is: are we picking the right team? Are we picking the right players who've got the absolute desire and passion to be the best they can be and put in performances that help us win games of cricket? We're a professional cricket team who we're expected to win. And I said to the players before the competition, I did it on purpose, this was the one competition where we have more pressure on us than the other two, because in Championship cricket we won one game a year for 3 years. We've still only won one game this year, but we feel like we've made improvements in Championship cricket. T20 we made improvements in the back half of the competition, but not quite enough to qualify. And then in this, having got to the semi-final last year, and there's a lot of people telling me we've got a very similar team to last year. We got to the semi-final last year, so I said, okay, to the players, there's a level of expectation on you here because the competition you did well in. We've got a full squad to pick from. We're only missing George Garton, and no disrespect to George, but he's played 7 T20s and half a championship game for us this year. So we're only missing the player who's played a small amount of cricket for us. The rest of them are supposedly our best team. And so therefore there is a level of expectation, rightly so, from our members and supporters. Having got to the semi-final last year, this is a competition we should be doing well in, and we have played against teams with a lot weaker opposition than us, and we've been convincingly beaten in 3 games. And so that's are we picking the right team? Are we preparing them properly? And what do we need to do differently as a coaching team to make sure that we're giving ourselves the best chance of winning?
How important are these next 5 games in this competition, Paul, and the next 4 county championship games for players to prove to you that they can be part of the future of the club going forward?
It's not so much proving to me, they've got to prove to themselves. More importantly, they've got to prove to themselves, and they've also got to show themselves that they really want to be professional cricketers and have long careers in this fantastic world of professional cricket, because it's a fantastic world, and there's nothing better than playing cricket for a living, and all of us are rewarded so much better now than we've ever been. So there has to be, these next 5 games in this competition are huge, for all of us. They're massive games. They're not games now where we just say, oh well, probably not going to be able to qualify, so we'll just go through the motions. Absolutely not. If I see someone going through the motions, that will be it for a while. They can sit next to me and watch the games. So there is an obvious opportunity for every single one of us, me included, to up our games and make sure that we're ready at Taunton to play the best cricket we can possibly play, and then the same at Hove on Sunday. There's no let up. And then the championship, 4 games we've still got a brilliant opportunity to get promoted to Division 1. Now that will mean that we're going to have to play really good cricket. So what we've got to do is get a balance between keeping whatever confidence we have in our team as high as it can be, preparing people as well as we can be to maintain and grow that confidence, and make sure that we don't our season just fizzles out. Because if our season fizzles out, that's as much on me as it is the players. And as I say, this isn't just me getting stuck in and ranting, because I'm not ranting. I'm very calm. I hate losing. I don't like losing in a way where the opposition cruise to a victory against you. That really disappoints and frustrates me, and I hope it frustrates and disappoints our players. I hope it really hurts, and that we see a reaction at Taunton on Friday where people show that they're really hurting. But also, we've got a lot of cricket to play in the rest of this summer, and I don't want to see anybody rolling over and basically saying, oh well, to the opposition, you can tickle me tummy, we're done, because that's, for me, that's unforgivable. But as I say, it isn't just on the players. This is on me and all of the coaches, and we've all got to make sure that we respond in a way that's positive, constructive, and give ourselves chances of winning games.
A couple of questions about players. Ali Orr, the expectation was he might be fit for some of these games. What's the situation with Ali and Steve Finn?
So Ali Orr's probably still, where are we, 3 games in. Ali Orr, I'm hoping we'll be ready by the 6th game. So we've still got another games without Ali, which is unfortunate, but it's also fortunate because it gives other people the opportunity to show that they deserve to play. So, it's not, our fortunes are not going to change on Ali Orr being available, and I know you're not suggesting that, but our fortunes are not going to change on one player becoming available. Steve Finn had a scan yesterday, and we'll get the results of that in the next day or 2, and we'll work out where Finn is at in terms of how soon we can get him back into the team.
Final question, Paul. You said you take it on yourself. Do you get demoralised when things like this happen, when you have defeats like this? You said you question yourself. Yeah,
you of course you do. And it'll be another night of laying awake half the night, staring at the ceiling, thinking about what you need to do. Because, as I say, in the past, like perhaps at the end of a game when you've been beaten, I've had a bit of a rant and got it off my chest and feel better for it. But experience tells me that there's no point ranting. There's probably a few players that have worked with me in the past will say, I could have told you that 10 years ago. But there is no point ranting. I'm not angry. I'm as disappointed for the players, because I know that they are working hard. I know that they are trying, but we're not getting it right. And as I say, this isn't an opportunity for me to dump via an interview with you on the players. This is an opportunity for me to be very honest and say that's not good enough. We haven't played well enough. We've got to improve. We've got to play better. And I'm as part of that, finding the solution as everybody else. And I take full responsibility for it. And it's I've got to make sure that I keep motivating players. I keep pushing players. I keep prodding players, and we find a way to get our team playing well and challenging to win games of cricket, because that's what you play for in the first place. So as I say, I'm frustrated, I'm disappointed, and I'll have a few hours tonight to think about it, and then when I wake up tomorrow morning, I've got to make sure that I'm clear in my own head. I'm very thoughtful in terms of any decisions we make. You don't make knee-jerk decisions at the end of a defeat like this, and it's tough when you've started a competition that we've had a really good run into. a week off, week's really good preparation with 2 games against national counties, and then you're 3 games in and 3 defeats, and 2 of them have been really poor defeats. So what you can't do is, as I say, just go pointing fingers and blaming. You've actually got the first finger you point is at yourself and say, right, come on then, what do I need to do? How can I find a way to get this team playing well? And how can I make sure that we maintain confidence, we play good cricket, and as I say, we come back at Taunton and play as well as we can to give ourselves a chance of winning.